Now, here's the MLB Bro TV show, the best from MLBBro.com with Rob Parker. Let's go.
Welcome to the weekend. There were so many great stories on MLBBro.com this past week. In case you missed some, we'll take a look back. Let's start here. Brandon Carr has a take that on Chicago White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson.
Some players play instruments, while others, like Chicago White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson, he conducts the whole orchestra. Anderson recently went 2 for 4 with a walk, a double, and 2 stolen bases in Wednesday's 7-2 loss to the Minnesota Twins. Although those numbers were pretty impressive, the aggressive leadoff hitter snapped 2 streaks. A 16-game hitting streak ended Tuesday versus the Twins as he went 0 for 5, but he scored 1 run, which extended his run streak to a franchise-high 13. But then that streak ended on Wednesday. But maybe upon the horizon is a new streak. Those 2 base swipes gives him 16 on the year, which puts Anderson on track for a second 20-steal season, which would be his first since 2018. Although the previous records have come and gone, every time the newly lamented All-Star takes the field, he's bound to either break or set a new record. And not to mention, he currently has his team on the South Side with the best record in all of baseball. So have no fear. By season's end, Chi-Town's leading man will have the Sox vying for a World Series.
Last week, I took a trip to St. Louis and checked out all the bros featured in statues in front of Busch Stadium. The St. Louis Cardinals have 10 legendary statues outside of Busch Stadium. 4 of them are black former players, including Cool Papa Bell from the Negro Leagues. Don't get it twisted about the St. Louis Cardinals. We know currently they have no black players on their roster. Ace pitcher Jack Flaherty is injured, and outfielder Justin Williams was sent down to the minor leagues. The fact remains that this storied franchise in St. Louis has done 2 things: won 11 championships and have had many black star players. That's why it's so awesome to go out in front of Busch Stadium and see so many black legends on display. And in a nice touch by the Cardinals, they also added Negro Leagues player Cool Papa Bell statue, who of course was a St. Louis icon. On Debatable with Mark Gray, veteran sportscaster Ronnie Duncan talks about the Indians' name change.
The Guardians will be replacing the Indians as the name of the baseball franchise. From what you can tell, how's it being received by the masses?
You know what? It is being received with mixed reviews. I mean, a lot of people understand the reason why political struggles, the mockery, the Indians, you look at the Atlanta Braves, you look at other teams that have names that might be condescending to the Native American Indian. And sometimes you have to understand that. I mean, if they were the Black Sambos, you and I will probably be in high protest about it. When I've talked with former players, they understand it, but they would prefer to be called the Cleveland Indians. Paul Dolan has made it very simple that the records remain as Indians, but now, of course, the Guardians. You look at the name the Guardians, Mark, first thing I think about is this a new Marvel or DC comic? And of course, in New York, you're going to think of the Guardian Angels, but I think it's an adjustment that had to be made. I think sometimes we can lack sensitivity when we think of the old Redskins, now the Washington football team. Obviously, they're going to become the Washington Warriors pretty soon. So these are just some of the aspects of a growing consciousness.
A bro you need to know is former Cincinnati Reds outfielder Eric Davis. When he played for the Cincinnati Reds, he was known as Eric the Red, and both had a hell of a glove and a bat. Davis broke in with the Reds in 1984. He was a 2-time All-Star. He won 3 Gold Gloves in center field. He won the Silver Slugger twice. And in 1990, his Cincinnati Reds won the World Series. Eric's best season was in 1987. He was the first player in Major League Baseball history to have 3 Grand Slams in the same month. Also, he was the first player to have 30 home runs and 50 stolen bases in the same season. Injuries slowed Davis's career, but in 1996, he restarted it with the Cincinnati Reds and was named Comeback Player of the Year. Eric Davis, a bro you need to know. This week's homeboy was Blue Jays outfielder George Springer. Springer has been raking. He's hit in 6 of his last 7 games, going 10 for 27. In all, during his torrid stretch, Springer is batting .370 with 3 home runs and 4 RBI. Springer's hot bat has kept the Blue Jays in the playoff race in that tough American League East. That's why George Springer is this week's homeboy. In J.R. Gamble's First to Third, he talks to Ken Griffey Sr.
The biggest thing I like about this down here, it's almost 100% black. And you don't see that, you know. And I'm so proud of Dale Matthews, Jeffrey Hammonds, and Tony, all of them putting this together. Tony vying to put this thing together, and it is working out wonderful. These kids can play. We got a lot of young ones here today, but I was here through the Breakthrough series, and those kids were outstanding, and they could play. And you know, they used to tell me when I was scouting and coaching and all that, they used to say a lot of the young black kids aren't playing. But this kind of tells us it's not the truth. You know, this kind of tells us a whole lot. This is not the truth. And these kids are down there and they're playing hard. They're showing their talent. But I'm looking at the compliments I'm gonna give to coaching staff. The coaching staff, they'll never see these young kids probably ever again unless they come back to this situation, because you have so much professional talent, major league players that played 10 or 15 or 20 years in the big leagues are down there putting their time in to help these kids, and those are pluses for me.
That's our show for this week. I'm Rob Parker. We'll see you again next weekend, and all week long, check in on MLBBro.com for the best coverage of black and brown major leaguers.